They believed Harold McBride had lost his way and gone off, but after 3 days without anyone finding him. Noticed a hint of him, no signs, no phone calls, no footsteps. The town was terrified of the worst. The 72-year-old retired carpenter, Harold, lived alone on the outskirts of a quiet town. He was well known for his peaceful evening walks and his small garden, which faithfully bloomed every year. When his neighbor saw newspapers piling up in the mail untended, she became concerned and called the police. Daniel Hayes, a recent graduate eager to prove himself, was sent for a welfare check. The front door was locked, the windows were closed, and the house was eerily quiet, with nothing out of place or indications of a struggle. Little progress was made in the days that followed due to Harold's absence. There was no broken glass or lost property. Volunteers searched through forested areas, police visited nearby hospitals, leaflets flitted from telephone poles, and tips came in, but none of them led to anything. Then, on the third evening, as Officer Hayes was leaving the station, a strange person approached him. A tasty dirt cake stray dog with alert eyes and a stiff, purposeful gait barked once, then tugged at Daniel's pant leg with urgency rather than aggression. It darted a few steps away and eventually stopped at a row of condemned houses with boarded-up windows. The backyard was overgrown with weeds, and there was an old storm door partially hidden by vines. Daniel called out, but got no response, so he pulled out his flashlight and carefully made his way into the basement, where the air was damp and thick with mold dust swirling in the light as he passed rusted shelves and broken furniture. Then he noticed a hole where the wooden floor had collapsed, and beneath the wreckage, half covered by debris, a man. Harold. Daniel's eyes flew open as he knelt next to him and whispered, "Water." His lips were cracked, his skin was pale, but he was alive. Around him were several old plastic bottles that had been chewed and dented, some of which were still wet from the creek, and he turned to face the dog, who was now sitting at the basement door tail, but his eyes were still fixed on Harold. It dawned on him like a wave that this stray had been finding Harold every day, crawling through a window gap and dragging water bottles that it scavenged from who knew where it had kept him alive in minutes when no one else knew where to look. The news spread swiftly as rescue crews arrived and carefully took Harold out, placing him on a stretcher while the dog watched peacefully from the porch. 3 weeks later, Harold was recuperating at his daughter's house. He had not seen her in years, but they had been given a second chance, and the dog now slept peacefully next to Harold's recliner. He had a red collar, a full name tag, and a permanent home. The tag said Lucky, but if Harold asked himself, it was everyone else who was fortunate because it served as a reminder that sometimes the smallest, most forgotten soul carries the greatest light, and that light one chilly week in March came from a mangy, stubborn dog who just wouldn't give up. Sometimes the purest acts of love come from those who have nothing to offer, only loyalty, instinct, and an unwavering heart.